We think ancient humans ate nothing but raw meat and foraged berries. Starvation was probably their baseline. They chewed on bones, maybe some grubs if they got lucky. For decades, archaeologists treated early human diet as simple, brutish, and basically gross. Then someone started analyzing fossilized poop, isotope ratios in bones, and residue left on cooking tools. Turns out our ancestors knew way more about food than we gave them credit for. These are 4 things ancient humans actually ate that completely challenge everything we assumed about prehistoric meals. 1. Ancient humans were baking bread before agriculture even existed. Most people assume bread required farming, requires wheat, requires civilization. 3 basic requirements. But around 14,000 years ago, people in the Fertile Crescent figured out how to grind wild grasses and cook them into flatbread. Archaeologists found evidence at an ancient fireplace in Jordan showing burn marks and starch residue consistent with baking. The wild seeds were probably less nutritious and more work to process than modern wheat, but people did it anyway. They were milling grain by hand with stone tools and then cooking it over fire. Hours of labor to process enough wild grass seeds for a single meal. This wasn't accidental either. The charred remains show these were deliberate baking practices, done regularly enough to leave an archaeological footprint. Someone made a choice. Someone said, "I'm going to spend my entire day grinding seeds so I can cook bread tonight." Why would you do that unless bread was genuinely important to you? So your ancestors weren't just hunting and gathering. They were taking wild ingredients and developing early food tech. Bread might actually be older than agriculture, which is wild when you think about it. Civilizations didn't invent baking. Baking might have helped convince people that civilization was worth the effort. 2. Fermentation might be older than cooking. Ancient peoples across the world figured out that you could preserve food by letting bacteria do the work. Some of the earliest evidence comes from China around 7,000 years ago, where fermented beverages appear in pottery residue. But fermentation might have happened completely by accident. Leave some grain or fruit in a humid place with the right microbes, and boom, it ferments. People probably tasted it by mistake, realized it didn't make them sick, and thought they'd discovered alchemy. This wasn't poison. This was magic. Fermented foods last longer, taste different, and probably packed a better nutritional punch than raw versions. Also gets you a little buzzed if you're lucky. Some theorists even argue that alcohol fermentation might have been so appealing that it actually motivated early agriculture. Forget civilizations building on grain surpluses for food security. Maybe they built on beer. Maybe agriculture happened because people wanted consistent access to fermented beverages, which honestly tracks. Ancient humans understood, at some level, that transformation through time and microbial action could make food better, safer, and more interesting. That's not primitive. That's chemistry without the chemistry set. 3. Organ meat was a delicacy, not an afterthought. Modern people think eating liver or kidneys is weird, something poor folks do out of necessity. But archaeological evidence from stone tool cut marks on animal bones shows ancient hunters specifically targeted organs first. They'd butcher an animal and go straight for the liver, heart, and brain. These organs are calorie-dense and packed with nutrients that muscle meat doesn't provide. Plus, they're soft and easy to eat without advanced tools. But here's the thing that changes everything. Organ meat spoils fast, really fast, within a day or two in warm climates. The fact that ancient hunters were eating organs first, prioritizing them over muscle meat, suggests they understood the nutritional value and maybe even enjoyed them. They weren't just eating whatever was convenient. They were making strategic choices about what parts of an animal gave them the most benefit. They knew what was valuable, and they went for it. Some bone fragments even show evidence of bone marrow extraction using specific technique, meaning they were deliberately accessing the most nutrient-dense parts of the animal. Your ancestors weren't scavengers eating whatever they could grab. They were strategic omnivores with preferences and culinary intentions. 4. Ancient peoples across different continents figured out how to prepare plants that were actually toxic until cooked. The cassava plant is a great example. Raw cassava contains cyanogenic glycosides, essentially low-level poison. Eat too much and you're dead. But cultures in South America developed specific processing techniques over centuries that leached out the toxins, making the plant safe and edible. You have to know exactly what to do, or the thing kills you. Similarly, acorns are packed with tannins that make them bitter and indigestible raw, completely inedible in their natural state. But if you soak them repeatedly in water, the tannins wash away, and you've got a starchy staple food, a complete nutritional package hiding inside something that would normally poison you. This wasn't luck. This was experimentation and knowledge passed down through generations. Someone tried to eat a cassava plant, got sick, then figured out that specific preparation eliminated the problem. That person shared the knowledge. This was experimentation, and knowledge passed down through generations. Ancient peoples were running early versions of food science, testing plants, observing consequences, refining techniques. They documented this knowledge through cultural practice and teaching. Some anthropologists think this plant knowledge was so valuable that it might have been closely guarded, passed down only to certain family members or shamans. You had to earn the knowledge. Food wasn't just sustenance. It was technology. It was medicine. It was power. It was possibly the foundation of early knowledge systems. For centuries, we looked at ancient humans as primitive dummies lucky to avoid starvation. Turns out they were problem-solving, experimenting, and cooking sophisticated meals long before anyone built a civilization. So here's what I want to know. What other everyday skills do you think ancient humans mastered that we completely take for granted today? Was it textile production, navigation, music? Put your best guess in the comments and actually defend it with some logic. Let's see what you've got. Subscribe if you want more history that makes modern people look lazy, and leave a like if any of these actually made you reconsider what ancient humans could do.